The advantage of using the Rotovap is that the solvents will boil at a lower temperature than their atmospheric boiling points. How does that happen? You notice that there is vacuum aspirator. What does this do? It will reduce the pressure because it is connected to the system, of course, when the machine is turned on. What happens when you reduce the pressure? When you reduce the pressure and you have your solution, of course, attached to the Rotovap, the boiling point also will be reduced. So, it is much easier to remove the solvent by using the vacuum Rotovap method. Now, how does this vacuum aspirator work? There is a power on off switch in the back of the vacuum aspirator. So, we can turn that on. You hear this noise. That is the gargling noise of water that I have inside here. It has distilled water in it, and you want to make sure that you keep this cold by adding ice into it. So, take about half this container, fill it with distilled water, and to it you add ice. So, we will add about 2 or 3 bowls of ice into this distilled water bin here. Generally, if we have anywhere between 0 to 5 degrees, 0 to 10 degrees as a matter of fact, it is a good temperature to work with. When I say it is a good temperature to work with, that means it is giving us efficient vacuum for evaporating of the solvent. So, add ice, put the cover back on. So, this is the machine that produces vacuum or reduced pressure. So, the pump, condenser, the motor and the water bath. Now, this piece of glass that you see here is called a bump guard or a splash guard. As the name suggests, when you have your solution attached to the Rotovap and you are trying to evaporate off the solvent, if there is any bumping or splashing of the solution, it traps in this round bottom portion here, which is called the splash guard. So, let us say how we can use this Rotovap to evaporate off the solvents from the fraction that we collected using column chromatography. Before we connect the round bottom flask here, I am going to fill the water bath with distilled water. Add it carefully so that water does not splash into the splash guard. If you fill it about halfway in the container, that is enough. So, once you fill this with distilled water, you can attach your round bottom flask with the solution to the Rotovap. We use this clip to attach the round bottom flask. There are 2 rings onto this clip here, a smaller and the larger one. Smaller one should go on top and the bigger one on bottom, and notice that the clip is attached in such a fashion that the smaller ring is on the splash guard and the bigger ring is on the neck of the round bottom flask. So, this holds the round bottom flask firmly. Now, we can turn the machine on and then bring down this round bottom flask so that it touches the water. So, use this lever here to bring down the round bottom flask so that the surface of the round bottom flask will be touching water inside the bath.